Welcome to Tungal online classes. So today we'll start with the next cell organ layer, that is plastids. In the last video, as you know, so mitochondria as well as the vacuoles and their respective functions that we saw in the last session. In this session we will see what are these plastids, where they are present, so how their structure is, and what are their respective functions. All these are the things that we discussed thoroughly in this session. So plastids, this term was first coined by Haeckel, right? The term plastids was coined by Haeckel, is the name of the scientist. And afterwards, so these plastids were discovered in plant cells by another scientist, that is Skimper, right? They were discovered by Skimper, is the name of the scientist, the one who discovered these plastids for the first time. And these plastids are available in almost all types of plants, right? Except some of the organisms like bacteria, blue-green algae, as well as fungi, right? So there in bacteria, there are photosynthetic bacteria are also there. There also the chlorophyll pigment is present. You might have heard of this one or read of this one. But one thing is that is called as bacteriochlorophyll, remember, right? So let us write the same thing. So these are present in all plant cells except in bacteria, right? Blue-green algae as well as fungi, right? So these are called as colorless plants. Why? Because of the absence of these plastids or the chlorophyll pigment within these one. So BCA, that is blue-green algae, right? As well as bacteria. Bacteria as well as blue-green algae are the prokaryotes. They have, of course, so photosynthetic bacteria are also there. In those bacteria, one chlorophyll pigment, that is chlorophyll, it is called as chlorophyll. It is called as such kind of chlorophyll pigment is present within themselves, so that they can perform photosynthesis there in their body itself, right? So next one. These plastids are of different types. Different types of plastids are there based on color, based on whether they have color or not. Colorless, whether they have color or colorless. So based on that, they have been classified into different types of plastids over here, right? So let us discuss the different types of plastids over here. So plastids are basically classified into two types based on the coloration. One is leucoplast. Leucoplasts are one type. Chromoplasts are another type of plastids. Leucoplasts, these are colorless. These are colorless in nature. These are colored one. Okay. So colorless plastids, these are meant especially for storage of food. Storage of different types of food is done by these leucoplasts. Leucos means colorless plastids. These are, right? So there is no coloration at all for these. So plastids, and they are meant especially for the storage of the food. And chromoplast, chroma means colored plastids. These are colored one. What color it is? Different aspect, right? So let us see the leucoplast on the basis of the they store, they have been classified into three types. What type of food do they store? Whether they store starch, proteins or oils and fats. So based on that, they have been classified into different types of leucoplasts. So let us see one by one. One is amyloplasts and allelinoplasts. Allelinoplasts. So these are also called as proteinoplasts. Right? As the name says, they are storing the protein. And elioplasts are the three kinds of leucoplasts that we come across based on the type of food material what they store themselves, right? And the next one, chromoplasts. So they have been classified into two major types. On what basis they have been classified? On what color they are having? Based on that, they have been classified into different types. So if they are having a green coloration, then there are one kind of plasters, that is chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are one kind of plasters. And the next one is, so next one, non-green plasters. These are not green in color, but they are having a different color, right? So that way they have been classified over here. So these plasters are of different kinds. One is carotene. Carotenes are one type of plasters, right? So which are non-green in color. And so second one is phycoerythrin. Phycocyanin, carotenes. So these xanthophyll, these are different kinds of xanthophylls, right? These are different colored pigments that we come across. So other than the green color, hence they are so present under the non-green pigments they are, right? So this is how basically the clusters have been classified over here. So first of all, we will start with these non-colored or colorless plasters first, and later colored plasters will go through, right? So first of all, first one, amyloplast. What they are? First one is amyloplasts. So these are one kind of plasters which are helping for the storage of starch. They help for the storage of plast. So these are larger in size as well as irregular in their shape. They are irregular, large sized plasters that help in the storage of the starch. So these starch is stored in the seeds. Where actually it is these plasters are present is, so they are present in the cells. They are present in the cells where the light is absent, right? There is no need of any light for themselves. So in such kind of cells, these are usually present, and those cells are present in the seeds and even underground stem and roots. So here in these regions, these amyloplasts are usually present. Starch is usually stored inside the roots, right? The stored food material in case of plants is starch. Starch is usually stored inside the root. So as we have seen in a previous classes, right? So this is the fact what you should know. So leucoplasts are the colorless plasters, so which are present in those cells which are usually not exposed to the light. Point to be noted. So leucoplasts are present in the cells which are not exposed exposed to light. So these leucoplasts are also present in meristematic cells, right? These are present in meristem, right? Already you know at the root tip it is having meristem, right? So and even it is present in sex cells. In the sex cells also these leucoplasts are present, and these leucoplasts are also present in embryonic cells, right? So these are present in embryonic cells. In such kind of cells, usually these leucoplasts are present over here. So they are present usually in the cells which are not exposed to the light, right? So one of the leucoplasts is a myeloplast, so which help in storage of the starch. Point to be noted. So this is the question which is usually asked for the match in the following. Match the following type of question. It is a myeloplast help in the storage of starch. This is the fact what you should know. And after this one, alleronoplasts. So these are a kind of plastids. These are a kind of plastids which are usually storing the proteins. They help in storage of proteins. These help in storage of proteins, and these are also present in the seeds mainly. So they are present in seeds. So in the seeds, usually the proteins are rich. In some of the seeds, proteins are rich in number. That's why alleronoplasts are the proteinoplasts. They are also called as, they help in storage of proteins and they are present in seeds, right? And the next one, so lyoplasts. Lyoplasts are the kind of plastids which are meant especially for the storage of oils as well as fat. These are meant especially for the storage of oils and fats, right? So they are lyoplasts, and these are also present in so the seeds. These are also present in seeds where the oils and fats are present. So example for this one is, already you know, groundnut. Groundnut is the best example. Castor is also best example for this one. Castor, groundnut, all these are the best examples for these lyoplasts which are present in the seeds which contain the oils and fats, especially groundnut as well as castor, from which we extract what? Oils, right? So that's why these are different types of plastids that we come across over here. Apart from this one more is also there. What is that? It is very interesting one. What is that? Is one more type of plastids apart from these three which are given in NCERT, etioplast. Etioplasts are the special type of plastids which do not store any food. Even they do not have any lamellar structure, right? So even they do not have any plastids or pigments within themselves. So these are the special type of plastids which do not have pigments. They do not have any pigments, and even they do not store food. They do not have stored food, right? They do not have any stored food. Even they do not have any lamellar structure. Such kind of etioplasts are usually present in etiolated, right, plants, where the plants are not exposed to the light itself. Such kind of plants which have these kind of plastids, it is very important plastid. So example you take yourself. So you need not to remember this type. These three types are very important one. Match the following type of questions are usually arising on this one. And a 3-mark question is also asked on this one. There is a possibility of many possibilities are there, right? So this is about the leucoplasts, which are colorless plasters which are present in the cells which are not exposed to the light, like meristematic cells, sex cells, embryonic cells, right? So in all those cells usually they are present in, right? So this is all about the leucoplast. Let's go to the chromoplast now. Yes, so let us start with the chromoplasts, right? Chromoplasts, as the name suggests, chroma means color. Chroma means colored plasters. These are, and these colored plasters are usually present in the fruits as well as flowers of the plant, and these are usually red in color, yellow in color, orange in color, right? So these are present in fruits and flowers. These are usually present in the fruits as well as flowers. Okay, along with this one, these chromoplasts are, so these are colored in nature, as already I have told you. And what color they have? So these have orange, red as well as yellow colored one, and so these are usually present in petals of flower, right? So these are usually present in the petals of the flower and skin of the fruit. There they are present. Example, I have taken here petals. In petals what happens? So there is a dissolved pigment present over here, and these dissolved pigment in the cell sap, where they are dissolved in cell sap, hence they give one particular color for the petals of the flower, right? So they are usually dissolved in a cell sap, right? And such kind of chromoplasts are of two types of chromoplasts that we come across. One is called as carotenoids. Carotenoids are a kind of, so they are a kind of chromoplast what we come across here. So carotenoids, usually these have red colored pigment. Carotenoids are red in color and orange, yellowish orange we can say. Yellowish orange colored one, right? Such kind of carotenoids, usually they are present in red colored fruits as well as orange colored fruits. So there these pigments are usually present over here, and these are usually soluble in fats. These are soluble in fats, hence these are called as lipochromes. These pigments are called as lipochromes since they are soluble in fat, right? So this is very important aspect to be remembered over here. And so here I shall take the red color. Red color of chilies is because of these carotenoids itself. Red color of chilies and other red colored fruits. So there these carotenoids are usually present over here, right? And next one is xanthophylls. So these are also kind of what? There are a kind of carotenoids. These are responsible for yellow color. yellow color. These are responsible for yellow color. As you know, brown algae. So these are present in what kind of xanthin is present there in brown algae? In brown algae, fucoxanthin. Fucoxanthin is present, which is responsible for brown color of the algae, right? So this is xanthophyll and these are carotenoids. These are one type of pigments, that is carotenoids, and next type of pigments, that is phycobilins. These phycobilins are of different types. There are mainly three types of phycobilins that we come across over here, and those three types are phycoerythrin. Phycoerythrin is one, phycocyanin is another, and allophycocyanin are three kinds of phycobilins. They are present over here, and these are usually found in algae. So like blue-green algae, as well as red algae. These are usually presented. Such kind of phycoerythrin, the name itself, erythra means red. It is the red colored pigment. So phycocyanin, blue or purple color, right, or violet colored, this one, right? Such kind of different colored pigments that we come across over here, and those pigments are usually found in algae, right? So these are second type of what? Second type of chloroplasts, what we come across. And these two types are non-green plastids. These are, note this point. So the carotenoids as well as phycobilins are the non-green plastids. These are usually. So as already we know, these are red colored, blue or violet colored one. So these are yellow colored one, red colored one, orange colored one. So then there is no green color at all. That's why these two types are said as non-green type of plastids. Already I have classified them, right? Non-green types, and now we shall start with the green type, that is chloroplasts, are the type of green colored plastids that we come across. We have to study the ultrastructure of this chloroplast. Usually these chloroplasts are present in the cells which are green in color, means this green pigment that imparts the color to the cells as well as the entire plant body itself, right? So let us see these chloroplasts now thoroughly. Let us start with the chloroplast now. Next, green plastid. This is the green plastid, that is chloroplast, is the green plastid that we are discussing now. So these chloroplasts were first discovered in plant cells, and they were discovered by the Skimper, right? So Skimper is the name of the discoverer. The one who discovered these plastids. So in plant cells, and Mayer is the name of the scientist, the one who called them as autoplasts. So the one who named them as autoplast for the first time. And these autoplasts are the kind of plastids So, and they are named as chloroplasts by Skimper named them as chloroplasts, but the name chloroplast was first given by Errera, E-R-E-R-R-A, Errera, R-R-E-R-A. Errera is the name of the scientist, the one who gave chloroplast name for these plastids, right? So first one, this is the first discovery part, and let us start with the size of these plastids. So the size that varies in different cells of the plants, right? The size that varies, and even the shapes that varies in different plants, right? So size is variable in different cells also, right? Size usually 5 to 10 mm in length and 2 to 4 mm in breadth or width itself. So these are very important things to be remembered from NCERT lines, right? And next one, shape of these plastids, that is chloroplast also varies in higher plants like moss plants, as well as pteridophytes, gymnosperms, angiosperms. Their shapes that differs over here. Little bit difference is there. So in higher plants like mosses, pteridophytes, as well as in angiosperms, the shape may be oval, spherical, elliptical, right, or sometimes rod shaped. So such kind of shapes they have usually. But in case of lower organisms like algae, they have different shapes. In algae, different shapes. Here also match the following type of question is usually asked over here. Remember, in different algae, different shaped chloroplasts are seen over here. Say for example, first one, that is chlamydomonas. Cup shape and Spirogyra. In Spirogyra it is spiral shaped. In Zygnema it is stellate shaped or star shaped. In Idogonium it is reticular in shape. Idogonium, it is reticular shaped one. In Eulothrix, it is girdle in shape. It is girdle shaped one in Eulothrix. See here, in different type of algae, these are the names of algae and these are the shape of chloroplasts or plastids. Chloroplasts. So that's why match the following type of question is fixed one here in this case. So that's why the shape of this chloroplast is different in a different plants, especially plant cells itself, right? So this is the fact what you should remember over here. So this is about the size of these plasters as well as shape of these plasters, and the number of plasters is also very important. Number of plasters. How many number of these plasters are there in each cell? In chlamydomonas only one plaster is there, that is chloroplast is there. Only one in chlamydomonas. Only one chloroplast is present in chlamydomonas. And in mesophyll cells, usually 20 to 40 number of chloroplasts are present in mesophyll cells. What are these mesophyll cells? Already have shown you. So whenever you consider our palm as the leaf, see here, this is the leaf. So there the upper surface itself is upper epidermis, lower surface is lower epidermis. In between these two epidermis there is a tissue, and that tissue is called as mesophyll. Meso stands for middle, phylla means leaf. Middle part of the leaf has its own chloroplast containing tissue, and that tissue is mainly made up of parenchyma. So in case of a dicot leaf, we have divided this mesophyll tissue into two types: upper palisade parenchyma, lower spongy parenchyma. So you can go through anatomy of flowering plants, there you will come across all these aspects. In mesophyll cells, these chloroplasts are usually 20 to 40 in number. The number of plasters also work out here, and the number depends on the region they are present. See here, if the region of the plant body is responsible for performing the photosynthesis, that region mainly consisting of many number of chloroplasts. If there are less, then no photosynthesis that are present, less photosynthesis take place. If they are absent, then there is no photosynthesis. Example, already we know leucoplasts are usually present in the roots, underground stems. So in that region there is no photosynthesis that take place. Why? Because of the absence of the light, right? So that's why there are no chloroplasts present in the regions where the cells do not have the light on themselves, or they do not exposed to be to the light itself, right? Let us start with the structure of this chloroplast. Structure of chloroplast. So this chloroplast, whenever you see in the mesophyll cells, so there you can see this one is the upper epidermis, and this is the lower epidermis, and this is the palisade parenchyma, and this is the spongy tissue. Okay, in those one, these dotted structures are nothing but the chloroplast. See here, the number of chloroplasts are more in the palisade parenchyma. These are less in spongy parenchyma, right? These are less in the spongy parenchyma, they are more in this parenchyma, that is palisade parenchyma. This is palisade parenchyma, this is spongy parenchyma, this is upper epidermis, This is lower epidermis. Okay, so now we are extracting or we are taking out only one chloroplast, right? So let us see the diagram of the same. See here, only one chloroplast I am going to maximize here. See here, this is one chloroplast, right? So this is double membrane bound cell organelle and it is the largest cell organelle in plant cell, right? So this is double membrane bound cell organelle and it contains many number of this kind of flattened structures. Flattened sac-like structures. These flattened sac-like structures are usually present within it. Okay. See here, this is how the structure of chloroplast is, right? So it is a double membrane bound cell organelle, as I said. It consisting of two membranes. This is outer membrane and this is inner membrane. And in between these two membranes there is a space called as periplastidial space. Periplastidial space it is called as, and there is a fluid structure which is electron dense watery substance is filled within it. It is called as matrix or it is called as stroma. It is called as stroma or matrix also. And there a pile of coin-like structures you are observing here means when the coins are kept one above the other, that kind of sac-like structures which are kept one above the other, they are called as granum. Singular is granum, plural is grana. All these are the grana of this chloroplast. And each sac-like structure is called as thylakoid. Each sac-like structure is called as thylakoid, and these granum are connected with the help of channels called as fret channels or stroma lamellae. Stroma lamellae. So these are fret channels or stroma lamellae. This is how the ultrastructure of chloroplast is there, right? Outer membrane as well as inner membrane. There are two membranes, hence it is double membrane bound structure. See here, chloroplast is double membrane bound structure which has outer and inner membranes, outer as well as inner membranes, right? These two in between, they have a space. There is a space between these two membranes. So that is called as periplastidial space. There is a periplastidial space. Okay. And the content of this chloroplast is divisible into two major parts. What is the two major parts that we come across here is, so there the lamellar structure or the granum itself, and one more is the fluid what is buffered inside this chloroplast is, so one more that is stroma. Stroma as well as grana are the two major sections that we come across in each chloroplast, right? So in each chloroplast their inner content is divisible into stroma as well as grana. First of all, we will start with the stroma. What is this stroma? Stroma is nothing but it is highly electron dense. So proteinaceous, it is highly electron dense proteinaceous watery substance present inside the chloroplast. It is highly electron dense proteinaceous watery fluid called as a stroma, and this stroma mainly consisting of what? It consisting of all those enzymes required for the photosynthesis itself. Remember, so it contains all the enzymes what are required for photosynthesis. Contains mainly enzymes for photosynthesis. Apart from this one, it also consisting of a stroma, also consisting of what? Water it contains, and it is also consisting of the circular DNA, ribosomes. Already you know, consisting of circular DNA as well as it also consisting of its own RNAs, and ribosomes are also present over here. They are 70th type of ribosomes are present over here, right? Circular DNA is there, RNA is there, ribosomes are there, and so many proteins are also present over there. Apart from this one, granules are present over here. Osmio, this is more important, osmiophilic granules are also present over here. So enzymes required for photosynthesis, circular DNA, ribosomes, proteins, granules, osmiophilic substances, all these are the substances what this electron dense watery fluid that contains is, right? So since these have circular DNA as well as their RNA, so they can duplicate themselves. And these are also said to be as a cell within the cell. So this is more important one. Chloroplasts are called as cells within cell. They are the cells within cell. Why? Because in cell, so the genetical material is there, and in the same way, so this chloroplast also have genetical material. Hence, it is cells within the cell. Alright, they are called as. And the DNA is about 14%. It is discovered by Riss. Riss is the name of the scientist, the one who discovered 14% of DNA is usually present in this chloroplast. And since they have their own DNA, these are called as semi-autonomic or autonomous, semi-autonomous cell organelles. Right? These are called as semi-autonomous cell organelles. Since they have their own DNA, they can duplicate themselves. These can duplicate themselves. So these are also described as cells within the cells. Right? Yes, the next one is granum. Granum itself is a singular. It is grana itself is plural. So plenty number of granum are present and they are embedded inside the electron dense watery fluid called as matrix, or it is also called as stroma. Right? So what are these granum or grana? Let us see here. See here in the diagram we are observing that there are some flattened sac-like structures that they are arranged one above the other, forming elongated pile of coin-like structures, and such kind of structures are called as what? Granum. Granum. So basically there are flattened sac-like structures present and are arranged one above the other. So they are arranged one above the other like pile of coin-like structures, and these are mainly named as granum. These are named as granum, right? And a single flattened sac-like structure which is called as thylakoid. Single flattened sac-like structure, what we call as is thylakoid. And so these thylakoids are flattened structures which are arranged one above the other just like a pile of coins. So how it looks to be as, and they are called as thylakoids, and these thylakoids mainly consisting of many number of pigments within themselves. They mainly consisting of many number of pigments, and these pigments main one is chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B are the major one. Chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, chlorophyll C, D, E are the different types of chlorophyll pigments are present within themselves. Along with this one, carotenoids are one kind of colored pigments. So as well as xanthophylls are also kind of yellowish pigments that are present within these thylakoids. So in the thylakoid membrane these pigments are present, and they are usually receiving the light, and that light energy is converted into the energy itself, right? That light energy is converted into chemical energy. Light energy is converted into chemical energy, and there one reaction that takes place, that is the light reaction. Light reaction that takes place within the granum itself, right? So this is the site of thylakoids, or the site of light reaction, and stroma. That stroma is the site of dark reaction. We study these dark reaction as well as light reaction in detail. Whenever we are studying thoroughly the mechanism of photosynthesis in one of the chapters, chapter number 13, that is the photosynthesis in higher plants, right? So now there is a need of understanding where actually the dark reaction is taking place, where actually the light reaction is taking place, right? So these are two sites that we'll have to recognize within this chloroplast itself, right? So this is about the chloroplast itself, right? So there chloroplast is double membrane bound cell organelle, which is called as semi-autonomous cell organelle, and these are the structures which are usually present in, so two types of tissues. One is mesophyll tissue and chlorenchyma, right? So chlorenchyma is one type of tissue and mesophyll tissue is another type of tissue. Mesophyll is usually present inside the leaf. It is a kind of chlorenchyma. It contains parenchyma with chloroplast. It is called as chlorenchyma. So not only it is present in mesophyll tissue, it is also present sometimes inside the stems, right? So especially we have gone through the anatomy of a stem. There inside the stem, there we come across the cortical part, cortical cells, sometimes consisting of these chloroplasts and help for photosynthesis. Hence, so this is also present in chlorenchyma. That parenchyma is also called as chlorenchyma. So these are the things that you should remember regarding the chloroplast. This is all about the chloroplast. The major function of this chloroplast itself is it helps in photosynthesis, right? This is the major function of chloroplast. By this we finished this chloroplast itself, and afterwards we will start with the next cell organelle, that is ribosomes, in the next video. Thank you. One more concept regarding these plastids is interconversion of these plastids. Interconversion of plastids. So what is this interconversion of plastids? As you know, there are different types of plastids that we have seen. So they are interconverted among themselves. One is leucoplasts, or one kind of plastids, and second one is chromoplasts, or second type of plastids, and third one is, so leucoplasts, as you know, chromoplasts. In chromoplast we have divided green as well as non-green one. So first of all, so that I had classified there, but here chloroplast I will take it as the third one over here. So these plastids are interconversion that occurs among these one is, see here, first of all leucoplasts, right? These leucoplasts are converted into chloroplasts, and these chloroplasts are converted into chromoplasts. So these leucoplasts as well as chloroplast as well as chromoplast, how they are interconverting themselves, one example I would like to take over here. So what is that example is, see here, in case of chilies as well as tomatoes, what happens, these are, when they are younger enough, that moment they are colorless or white in color. So these are white in color, and later they are converted into green in color. Then when they become young one, they are converted into green one. And these green colored chilies, later when they ripe themselves, they become red in color. So this kind of, see here, white is nothing but leucoplasts are present in these one, and when they become so young, these leucoplasts are converted into green, in the sense that chloroplasts they are converted into. These chloroplasts are later converted into chromoplast, right? Ultimately they become red in color, right? So this kind of interconversion of these plastids that occur over here in some of the fruits, flowers sometimes, right? Especially it is seen in fruits itself, right? This is one example. I hope it is enough for you people to know how the interconversion of this one. And one important point to be remembered. So note what is that is chromoplasts. Chromoplasts will never convert themselves into chloroplast or leucoplasts. Right? This is the fact what you should remember. Apart from this one more is leucoplasts. Leucoplasts can convert themselves into chloroplasts as well as chromoplasts. Right? This is also one more fact to be remembered regarding interconversion of these plasters. This is all about the plasters. We'll see the remaining things in the next video. Thank you.